Hi guys, welcome back to the Joyful Investors channel. In the previous video, we covered more about understanding dividend investing, the benefits of investing in the Singapore markets for dividends, and the three different types of objectives which you could be looking for to achieve when constructing your own dividend portfolio. Now that you know more about dividend investing, how much initial capital do you have to pump in so that you can live comfortably on dividends? We often hear people talking about living off dividends, but is it really achievable? Let's find out. First, we need to determine what is an estimated average amount of expenses we will spend in a year. The basic monthly expenses for Singaporeans after retirement for now is about mid-$1,000. Let's just throw in some numbers. For instance, say I spend about $2,000 a month. So for a year, the estimated annual expenses will be $2,000 multiplied by 12 to get $24,000. Next, we can calculate the initial capital sum required by taking the estimated annual expenses divided by an average dividend yield you would expect to earn. So in this case, I expect that I will get about, say, 5% yield per annum. So by taking 24,000 divided by 5%, we arrive at $480,000. It means that if we earn 5% yield per year, we will need to invest $480,000 worth of investment capital to receive $24,000 of dividends per year to cover our living expenses. Likewise, if today you require a slightly higher amount of expenses per month, say $3,000 instead of $2,000 expenses per month, then following the same steps, you will require $722,000 of investment funds to receive $36,000 of dividends for a year, such that you can live off the dividends. So if you are thinking of retiring and just living off dividends, you would first need to build up a considerable amount of investment capital to put them to work. On a practical note, it would also mean that it may take a rather long period of time to build up that amount of capital through savings alone, even if you maintain consistent saving habits. This is why investors may consider starting off with growth investing to grow their money faster before they make a transition to dividend investing at a later stage of their life. Well, I've also done up some math for you here. If you require $480,000 of investment capital today to live off dividends, and you decide to accumulate that amount through savings alone, assume every month you can save $3,000. You will take $480,000 divided by 3,000, and that gives you 160 months, which is about 14 years rounded up. In comparison, if you attempt to accumulate the investment capital that you need to build a dividend portfolio through other forms of investments, here is how it will look like. Assume every month you can save 3,000 and you put all of that to investing in the S&P 500 because you have already set aside sufficient emergency funds. You started investing initially with 10,000 and you top up 3,000 every month to passively invest in an ETF that tracks the S&P 500, for example, the SPY ETF. Using an average annualized return of 10%, you will take approximately 9 years to accumulate $480,000. So that is a lot faster than if you depend on just savings alone to accumulate the $480,000 that you need. If you learn to properly stock pick, you may be able to generate an even higher ROI, which translates to a shorter period of time required to build up that $480,000 of funds. I hope that these calculations that I have shown you would give you a better idea on how things work in practice and how much time and money you would ideally require. So just tweak those numbers around according to your own lifestyle and expenses, and you would be able to have a rough target to work towards. It is important to do the math for yourself because for things to work out well in practice, you do need to put in some work and time before you can live comfortably off the dividends. I'm not putting off the idea of living on dividends. In fact, I do think it is a good approach. But I just want to point out that as investors, we need to have realistic expectations of what we are in for, which includes how much money you will require and how long it might take to achieve that. That said, all big things have small beginnings. Everyone who got to where he is had to start from where he was. So for young adults who may just be getting started, if you construct a REITs portfolio of say $50,000, giving you a 5% dividend yield, we are looking at about 2.5K of dividends a year, or just slightly more than $200 per month if you average it out. It is definitely not a life-changing amount, but a good extra money to have to cover the expenses that we need to spend at Starbucks or to pay our mobile plans and possibly our Spotify subscription or Netflix subscription. Hence, while it never hurts to start early in building your dividend portfolio towards retirement income, it is important to have a realistic expectation in the short to mid-term that the dividends received are not that sizable. For those who can accept delayed gratification, you might even reinvest these dividends back into those REITs so that you can grow your money at a faster pace and have more money working hard for you. So if you are now ready to start on dividend investing, watch out for our next video as we are going to be sharing about the key considerations to look out for when setting up your own dividend portfolio. Hit the subscribe button and turn on the notification bell to be alerted on our next video release. Do also follow us on our Telegram channel as we will post about Singapore REITs from time to time. See you in the next video.